Hello everyone, welcome to episode 38 with Sirus Migration live. We come live every Thursday at 3 p.m. My name is Ashani Yapa. I'm an Australian registered migration agent. I've got Ashani right next to me, a very clever Australian registered migration agent sitting next to me too. So we got Mario and Lena sitting right in front of us, but you can't see them.
So it's all about Australian immigration. So we talk about latest topics and we try to answer as many questions as we can throughout the session. So this is your stage. If you have any questions, please post them in comments in Facebook or YouTube. And if you haven't liked our page, please like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can get in touch with us via admin@sirus.com.au, or you can call us
on 13,000 74787 if you're calling from Australia. If you're calling from outside, you can also use the WhatsApp 450 +61 4506 74787. It's +61 4506 Sirus. So there's many ways you can contact us, but I guess so in a way, if you're not getting an answer quick enough, please contact us on the phone straight away, so you don't have any delays. We've got a lot of inquiries and emails comes every day, and with them sometimes we get delays to screen through and get you an appointment. But if there's any urgent queries, please be in touch with us from any of these ways, but preferably the phone call sometime. Most of the time is the quickest way to get us. So we've got some topics that we advertise in Facebook and YouTube as well, but I would like to have a quick chat. Today we would like to answer your questions more than us telling you what to do, but we will give you a heads up with some of the topics. We would like to talk about, there is a big lack of staff or labor or employees in Australia,
skilled
workers in Australia. It's been recognized in many ways. There are many programs that we hear from ABC and ministers' discussions as well. So
didn't we hear yesterday that they're going to triple the offshore skilled migrants?
So the government's planning to triple the they're expecting to spend over $20 billion in infrastructure by next year, and by 2023 they're going to triple it by $60 billion. It's a very big number. So what it means also is they're expecting an increase of skilled labor, and they're talking about measures and protocols of how to increase these skilled migrants in Australia. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of new programs coming. So if you're expecting to spend live or work in Australia, there might be good opportunities coming for you. Or if you're currently living in Australia and looking at migration options or further stays, then there'll be a lot of good opportunities coming your way. So Australia is about to welcome a lot of skilled migrants into the country, depending on your skills and depending on the skills shortages.
Can we give them a bit of like an indication of what sectors that they will be targeting?
I guess there'll be a lot of talking about infrastructures. When I looked at those papers on what sort of infrastructures they're targeting, majority of them were focused on construction. Especially majority of those budgets were going towards building of roads and bridges, etc., which gives us a good indication there'll be a lot of shortages in engineers, construction managers, project managers, etc. Especially the project managers going to be a hot topic in next couple of years.
And also,
Australia is expecting to have a greater boom in the economy with the Olympic preparations in 2032 as well. So there'll be a lot of activities happening in Australia. So there'll be a lot of opportunities that creates. And if you're one of those people who's looking to expand your business or stretch your employments to Australia, I get to talk to a lot of skilled IT professionals, financial services specialists from all over the place. So for all of you, some of them, they're already working in Australian projects, especially quite a bit of Australian IT projects are handled outside in offshore places. So Australia is opening the economy up to those people. I'm not an economic specialist or a financial specialist, but where we can help you is from the migration perspective. How can you be eligible for getting yourself and your family into Australia, and how good it will be for them, and what benefits you'll be getting out of which program, and what will be the best suited program for you.
And also I think to add to that, if you're offshore and if you believe you are one of them who can be eligible under either employer nominated stream or skilled migration, what you can do right now is get your English ready, and maybe if you're eligible to do NAATI, get your NAATI exams ready, and also your skills assessment. So we've been talking about skills assessment. We get many inquiries. So if you're planning on migrating to Australia under skilled migration, it is a must to have your skills assessed in Australia, and it's a very critical step, because if you get your skills assessment wrong, and if you have a negative outcome, or if you get it for the wrong occupation, that is the end of the road for most of them, because you can't approach them again. You've already given them your documents. So it's very critical at this stage to get the right skills assessment done, and most skills assessments are valid for either 2 years or 3 years, and definitely Australian offshore migration will open before 3 years goes on. So I think
skill migration, some of the critical things is you need to be under 45 years of age. You need to have IELTS or similar band in 6 in each band.
That's minimum, and it can
be
vary
anywhere higher than
different states. Yeah.
And then you need to have a skill assessment done through a relevant skill authority, with an occupation nominated by you with your skills, and you may be eligible for one of these programs to be eligible. But one really important part is, when you do your skills assessment, your occupation, picking up your right occupation for the right pathway is critical. Please don't just go and do a skill assessment for sake of doing a skill assessment. Maybe with your set of skills, you might be eligible for multiple skill assessment.
Yeah. And or a skills assessment in a different list, which is more favorable than another list that you have picked from. So I think our ultimate advice would be to talk to a registered migration agent before you go ahead and do your skills assessment, because they may be able to help you just pick that right occupation to help you with your future.
Back in the days,
migration.
there was a very easier way, because it was what is it called, demand list. That was about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. It was called demand list, and I can't remember the exact name. But right now we have many lists, occupation lists. They're called, the magic list is called, or the priority list is called
PMSOL.
PMSOL comes with for the ENS sector.
Yeah.
What the most valuable occupation list is in MLTSSL, medium to long term skill shortage list. If you can relate yourself into this list, there are many permanent migration pathways. If not, you don't have to be disappointed. There's other skill occupation lists, such as short-term skill occupation list, regional occupation list, DAMA list, designated area migration area list, designated area migration list, priority list. Don't get confused. There are always Mario's giving me hints on screen while talking, so get my attention. Sorry, we couldn't get all the lists ready for you on the screen, but it's there's quite a number of lists over there, but it's just it might just be valuable for you to talk to an agent and understand where would it be most valuable for you to get your skill assessment, and what will be the next step as well. Would the next step take you to a short-term program, or would it help you get into a job? Majority of the skill assessments require a bit of work experience, especially if you're in computer sector. They require you to have at least 2 years of work experience post completion of your education, if you studied overseas, or if you studied in Australia, then just 1 year, or you can circumvent by doing a professional year as well. So the same way, certain things like accountants, some people are so worried because the friend said you can only get a skills assessment only if you have IELTS in 7 each, and there is no other way of getting a skills assessment, and you're in trouble. But that's wrong. You can still get your skills assessment if you have completed your professional year. You only need IELTS 6 in each band. I think it's PTE 50 in each band. I'm not very good with the comparison. I'm an old school guy who's used to IELTS. So every time a client talks to me,
it is now old school too.
So
so we won't go into too much detail about skills assessment because it is a very complicated area, sometimes a bit of a gray area. Unless you handle skills assessment day in, day out, it can be a bit daunting for our clients. That's why we sit with them, we look at their CV, we look at not just the title of their job, we look at the job duties as well, determining the skills assessment, and then we look at various lists and look at what options they have and what is the quickest and cheapest way for them as well before we decide to go for which skills assessment. So all in all, what we want to say is get in touch with the migration agent, get the right skills assessment done. That can really make the difference between you getting in through a program and not getting in through a program.
We spoke about engineering because engineers going to be a hot topic coming in my predictions, because there'll be a lot of engineers and project managers, project coordinators required in Australia in the skill shortages to be filled in the projects coming up next. So with this, with engineers, they have a lot of other opportunities that's not existed to other sectors. So if you are one of those engineers who have completed your degree offshore, I don't know if you're familiar, if you're a weaver from outside of Australia, if you're not, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with 485 program. Similarly for engineers only who has completed their degree within a nominated university or a recognized university by Engineers Australia, either through Washington Accord or immigration prescribed list. Then you can, as soon as you complete the degree, if you're below 31 years of age, then you can come into a similar program to 485 that allows you to live and work in Australia for 18 months, 2 years, for you to be qualified. So you don't even have to study in Australia. You can study offshore, IELTS 6 in each band, and then your age has to be below 31. Then you can simply come into Australia and get yourself qualified, contribute yourself and get used to Australian systems, and that might lead you to other permanent pathways as well, like employee-nominated pathways or general skill migration pathways. That's an
So that's
absolutely
a visa, subclass 476, that you can be eligible to apply when you're offshore, as long as you're an engineering graduate from a certain university. That visa doesn't have any condition, so you can work full-time, study full-time. That would be a great visa if you just finish your studies and wanting to get some Australian work experience and trying to find a permanent residency pathway, coming here, working here, and then gaining those skilled work experience. That would be an ideal visa for you.
And for this, you don't have to show your financial capacities and big commitments or spend a lot of money. It's mainly based on your English ability, as in competed English, and also you must have completed your degree in a recognized, as Ashani said, university. Can be through Washington Accord list, or it could be from the recommended list from the Australian Department of Home Affairs. The name changes all the time, so you can't keep up with it. It used to be Immigration Department and the EAC. And so if you have any general skill migration programs, once you get those sorted, whether you're offshore clients, you can still apply for 476. You don't have to wait. And also with the news that the borders are about to be open for international, I think there'll be opportunities coming up. So if you are one of those engineers who's qualified offshore, it's time for you to get ready, because the borders will be open soon. By the time you get your visa process, you'll be eligible to come here and start working. And that'll be a good opportunity. So the greatest news from the federal government and Honourable Prime Minister Scott Morrison is the borders are going to be open sooner than we expected. So the first lot of people coming into Australia will be the Australian permanent residents and the citizens who have been stuck outside for a while. So you'll be coming in almost within 2 weeks, and you'll be allowed to be home quarantined. So there's nothing legislatively written up about it that we've seen, but I think that'll be the protocol that they're proposing. So matter of weeks, get ready. It'll be really nice to see the good old days coming back to the country. It's been almost 18 months without having these international affiliations. There used to be 9 million people coming into Australia every year as visitors, and none of them came this year to my knowledge, because visitors weren't allowed. So tourism, hospitality sectors excited to welcome you all. There'll be a lot of good discount packages in Australia, and the beautiful summer times just around the corner. And that creates a lot of migration opportunities and also employment and business opportunities in Australia as well. Australia is one of those countries who controlled COVID situation to the best of the ability. Majority of the states had no more than 1 or 2 cases for weeks. Unfortunately, New South Wales went through a bit of a tough time, having recorded numbers of 1,000 or 1,500 and around there, and currently Victoria is having that trouble. Hopefully they'll manage it, and Australia is very good at doing it all. So we expect the numbers to come down very quickly. Unlike certain countries, Australia's managed it well, so the death rates were really low, touch wood. So that might be another reason that you may want to consider your next tourist destination into Australia as well. So enough about visitors. This is a good indication that international students who are expecting to enroll for February intake, there is no reason why you should delay it anymore, because remember, the longer gaps are not the most entertaining factor when it comes to international students with subclass 500. So if you're one of those students who's looking to enroll for next semester, which is coming around the corner for February, please be in touch with us or
I think it's about time. Either you're too late or you have to do it right now, because most of the universities, when I talk to them, they are filling up really fast, especially if you want to get into health, because most of the health courses have limited capacity. They are filling up. Some of them are already filled for February intake and July next year. So get in touch with the education agent, migration agent, get your enrollment sorted, get your confirmation of enrollment, and then get your student visa done, because you can do it. Doesn't matter which country you're in. Now you can lodge your student visa and get it granted. And you can be one of the first people to, or international students to arrive in Australia.
And most of the scholarships that were extended during the pandemic time still exist. So they give a lot of opportunities, like over 25% scholarships, which gives you thousands of dollars discounts in international student fees, which is never been that good. And also it is a good opportunity for certain what do you call them, the quarantine programs to be funded by the universities as well. And this won't last because the pandemic, this is last few weeks of pandemic concessions that we still are enjoying. So if you're one of those students who's expecting to continue in the first semester of 2022, time for you to get yourself ready. We'll quickly touch base of 494 and 191 and 186. There's we speak about the skill shortages. We go out there. There's a lot of different scenarios. We work day-to-day basis in employment visa sectors. We thought it'll be good for us to share some of those knowledge, so you get more educated about it, and it'll be easy for you to find the right way. And if you need any support with 482 191 494 186 407 employee visas, we have. Go for it, Mario. We have years of experience that we can help. Ashani is too excited to talk to you about 186. I'll let Ashani take up 186.
No, let's talk about 494 first. I think that's also very important.
Okay, 494, 191. I was talking to an interesting client today. I want to sort of share some of this experience with you. So I think it's a good scenario as well. Without taking much time, the client's currently holding a 494 visa as a cook. Cooks in short-term skill occupation list doesn't have a pathway for permanent residence if you apply for 482 visa in metropolitan area anywhere in Australia. So luckily he's in a 494 visa in regional area, which is 494 cannot be granted in metropolitan anyway. So he went to he had a lot of experience in sushi bars. He went to work in a different restaurant in a different area, but still in regional. So the first company or the first business closed, so he was looking for another option. He's looking at option to go and work in the second place. One of the problem, can you do it legally? You can do it. The way you do it is you need to apply for another nomination from the new employer. So that arises another problem. So before we go into that, if you're in the second employer, second employer's day-to-day duties is not what he prefer, because the different cuisines. Because remember, he's a cook. Sushi chefs don't like Western foods, or Western chefs don't like Mexican food, so they have their preferred list of cuisines. So can he go for another one? Yes, of course you can go. So 494 visa allows you to live and work in regional area for 5 years. lot of good incentives, and also even people in certain short-term skill occupation lists, it allows you to go into a permanent residency through 191 visa after 3 years. What do you have to fulfill to get the 191 visa is you have to first live and work in regional area. Number 2, you need to at least achieve the required benchmark income. So sometimes, let's say it's 54,000. So even though you change the employers and you have gaps between those two nominations, etc., you need to fulfill. Otherwise, after 3 years, you won't be able to go into permanent residency straight away. It might go not 3 years. It might go another year to fulfill that requirement. So it is one of the most important part. If you're in a 494 visa, if you're in a regional visa, when you're picking another nomination, you have to make sure you're getting a nomination from same or similar occupation, and also you need to make sure that they're paying you the right amount according to your benchmarks, and you got to make sure if you're not earning that annual income, then you might not be able to go to 191 as quick as you think, which is the permanent residency and which is the ultimate goal for a lot of these regional skilled people. And one other thing also, if one other question that people frequently ask, you're currently in a 494. Imagine the person was in 494 but not as a cook but as a chef. Then after a year, if he's got enough experience, enough English, is there a way to get permanent residency? Of course you can do it. You can apply through 186 program as a direct entry employee, in the direct entry stream with 3 years of work experience, IELTS 6 in each band, and then a skill assessment. So that's 494 and 191 for you. We actually, I don't know if you're a regular viewer, you can notice we added 407 today. For 494 and 482 visa, you need to have work experience behind you. So if you don't have 2 years work experience, you cannot get into 482 visa with an employee. But if you have some sort of competency, or if you have work experience, if you have the qualification, not the work experience, etc., you can go into 407 training visa with a training plan, and you can build up your work experience. There is no requirement for 53,900 TISMIT or the market salary rate. So that's a good entry. 186 got multiple entries. Ashani wanted to talk. I would like Ashani to talk more about 186s.
So 186, I don't think I'll go into too much detail. I'm pretty sure you already know what 186 is. It's an employment visa. It's permanent residency. Little bit stricter than the subclass 482 because you need to have a skill assessment and you need to have 3 years post-qualification work experience. And some employers don't really like to sponsor for 186 because the hold on you is a little bit less compared to subclass 482.
You get a better commitment from the employees from 482 visa right. Compared to 186 visa. So.
But ultimately 186 would be the best visa if you look at from an employees or the applicant side. What I want to talk to about 186 is I spoke to a lot of people who I'm helping to apply for 186s. And they were a little bit confused about, do I need to be with the same employer for 3 years? You know how when we say you need to have 3 years work experience, people get confused. Okay, so do I need to stay with this same employer who's sponsoring me for 186 for 3 years? I just want to clear that no, you don't. When we say for subclass 186 direct entry stream, you need 3 years work experience means you just need to have 3 years full-time work experience after qualification. This work experience can be with the current employer, it can be with a different employer in Australia, it can also be with an employer offshore. So it doesn't even have to be in Australia. For example, you could come to Australia as a student studying Master of Accounting, but back home you held a Bachelor of Accounting and you worked as an accountant for 3 years. As soon as you came to Australia, you applied for few jobs, they looked at your CV and they were very impressed, they offered you a job, you are ready to apply for subclass 186 in Australia, as long as you can get a skill assessment, even though you have never worked for this Australian employer before. So that's why I said, don't get confused. You don't need to work for the current employer or the employer who's going to give you the job offer in order to be eligible for 186. If you're still confused, you can be, because it can be a little confusing. Get in touch with the migration agent and find out before you tell your employer, sponsor me for 482 or 186. Find out if you're eligible for 186, because that could be a better alternative for you than going for 482.
I want to now have a bit of attention towards Global Talent Independent Visa. We've spoken a lot about GTI program. Wow, that's nice graphics, Mario. So if you're eligible for, if you got experience or your expertise through any of these 10 target sectors listed on the screen, and regardless of your age, English or your education, if you have prominency, international recognition in or anywhere in the world internationally, then you may be eligible to apply for this visa. You go through 2 steps. Step 1 is getting expression of interest through and getting an invitation from that expression of interest, and then applying for your permanent residency, which is a very quick permanent residency pathway.
Yeah, but don't take the visa too lightly anymore, though, because when they say you need to be prominent in the field, now they really look at your prominency. They contact your nominators, they contact your previous employers, they Google you, they see where they can find your information, and they have clearly mentioned in the last email I received from GTI, the auto email, they said just being a manager or just being a supervisor does not mean that you're prominent in the field.
So if you can show that you have been a prominent person, one of the thing is your pay. If you earning over 158,000 Australian dollars per annum, that's one of the qualification. Or you can be a recently graduated PhD holder, but that's the start. You need to have a prominency in the field by having international awards.
Yeah.
You can be publishing international journals, which is more important for the rest of the world to share your knowledge. It could also be a product that you launched. It could be a certain app or software that you launch. Rest of the world is benefiting of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
it could be patents that they hold. It could be international conferences that you have frequently participated in. So there should be something behind you other than your salary and other than your PhD to support you and to get through this invitation stage.
So if you're in one of those sectors, if you have these confusions, please be in touch. One of the other part also is you need to be nominated by an Australian employee, Australian, not an employee. We were talking too much about the work visas. So pardon me on this. So you need to be nominated through an Australian citizen or a permanent resident or an Australian company. Who is also a recognized individual or a company who's recognized in that sector, in the same field as you. So they pretty much need to be able to say, or they might even be superior than you or equivalent to you, to be nominated, for you to be nominated by them. So they have the confidence to tell you, correct, this person's got this much exposure into this sector and a valuable person to be migrated. So in these regards, in these sectors, if you're in IT, if you don't have a nominator, ACS Australian Computer Society or Engineers Australia at the moment is extending their support to nominate you. It's not a skills assessment, but it's a nomination. Then you need to demonstrate for you to be nominated to them that you're very good at what you're doing, and these are the products you got or launched, or you got these patents or this international recognition. So that's Global Talent Independent. People are worried. There's thinking certain applicants, they're worried. There's million people applied and 15,000 application. The opportunities are left, which I don't know. I don't have the full application list. Unfortunately, department decided not to give me the access to all the statistics. Not just me. No one's got it unless they tell us what it is. At times they do. So we don't know how many applications went through. It doesn't really matter. If you're in one of those sectors, if you have the prominency, don't think twice, just apply. And it doesn't cost you any immigration fees. It will cost you the advisor's fee only, but there'll be a lot of people doing it in a reasonable price. We certainly give a really attractive option for all of our clients, and we have quite a in-depth knowledge in GTI. We've got many applications, successful applications through.
Yeah, I think let's go and answer some questions. Even though we started by saying we are not going to talk too much, we ended up talking for half an hour. Okay.
I really wanted to talk about business visa. There are exciting business visa options out there right now. 188A as well as 188B and C, E. If you require any support with business visas, me and Ashani personally look after most of the clients' applications. So be in touch. We'll support you all the way from the beginning with the business visa inquiry you may have. So let's go have a look at some questions out there that you may have.
Yeah, I've got Rohit Sharma saying, good morning, ma'am and sir. Good morning. Last 2 days ago, I received my visa. Yay, congratulations. I don't know which visa it is, whichever. Hopefully that visa can get you to Australia, even though the borders are closed. What else does he want to say? Oh, he is from India as well.
Very good. If you come by Brisbane, don't forget to come by. Say hello to us, Rohit. We look forward to see you in the office.
Yeah. So can you go? Oh, I've got Shim saying, when states will open for software engineer offshore? We can't really say, but we are hoping as early as early next year. And I've got
Tasmanian program allows software engineers to come from offshore, depending. You can't just say you can't specify that, but you can apply. But depending on your expertise and the points, they might invite you. They can do it right now. SA new program? No,
yes, SA you can. I've got Harshan asking, hi, can we apply for SA independent talent stream while on a student visa? If so, is the minimum 95 points mandatory? What's your experience? Yes, that's right. SA independent talent stream is a great stream as this for these high achieving applicants, but you do need to have really high points, like as
95
he
is
said,
pretty
95.
Good.
Yeah. I've got Mohammed saying, I have submitted ROI application in SA as maintenance planner July 2021 with 90 points. I have superior English, 9 years of experience. What are my chances? I think your chances are really good. I hope you applied through a migration agent so they can directly get in touch with SA as well and find out what's going on and give them a bit of extra information if they need to kind of fast forward the process. I've got
Preet Kaur, sir, please tell me about 485 visa holders when travel will be possible for temporary residents. And then, Preet, with this question, we expect the borders to be open fairly quickly. So in November, they're opening up the borders for international travelers, mainly for Australian permanent residents and citizens. Next slot should be international students, including 485. So hopefully early 2022. It could be as soon as December. So we don't know yet, but it'll be very soon, Preet.
I've got Sky asking, I have a positive skills assessment for ICT. Business analyst. Currently, I have 75 points under 190 with experience, English and age. I am currently offshore and submitted my EOI. What are the chances for getting an invitation with 75 points under 190? Should I submit EOI for all states, or should I limit my EOIs for specific states? So don't just go ahead and submit EOIs for all the states. Please go and check the requirement of each state, because not every state is open. For example, currently Queensland is closed, and some of the states only open for a period of time. So we don't know when the next period will open. So please monitor that carefully before you go ahead and lodge just EOIs, because it could go to waste.
Let's go to Baljit. So before we go to Baljit, Sky, expression of interest, when you select almost all the states, they don't like you to just give it a go with everyone. So they don't like you to take all the states, so you won't get priority from anyone. So it is, as Ashani said, always good to check what are the states that are giving priorities for you, and what's according to your circumstances in terms of what's your points, what's your work experience, etc., and pick the state accordingly. And also, if you're lacking for 190, I would also suggest why not consider 491 as well, because you get extra 15-point boost through 491.
And
Baljit?
also Rohit saying he's the one who just got the visa grant 2 days ago. I think he's been coming to us for a few days asking about when will he get his visa grant. He's a 482 chef in Brisbane. Please come and see us in the office. We are also in Brisbane. Our office is in the middle of Brisbane City. Come and see us, then we will help you with planning your permanent residency, Rohit. It'll be really nice to see you.
And also we'll explain more about how to comply with your current
visa and all that.
And stuff. Please give a call before you come in, so we can make sure we keep our times available for you. So it'll be exciting to see you. Safe travels. Let's go to Baljit. Right? Thanks for joining. Marius. Explain a bit more about 186 direct entry. So 186 direct entry, you need to have IELTS 6 in each band. Skill assessment needs to be 45 years of age or less if you go direct entry. And it has to be in MLTSSL as well. Your occupation.
Baljit, you need to have 3 years of work experience when we lodge the nomination. It's always better to have it that way. And I don't know your occupation as well, because depending on the occupation, sometimes it could be priority processed, and you don't want them to process it before your 3 years work experience it's fulfilled. And he's asking for an appointment. Yes, we will definitely
I'll give you a secret number, Baljit. Call 0733618177 and get Claire to Claire will answer it, or Ruchi will answer it, and please tell them that Isuru and Ashani said one of us will take up your appointment, and we can do it next couple of days. We'll give you a priority in that way. And we'll waive the initial consultation fees for you as well. A special offer.
I've got again Farisha asking, hi, please give some information about humanitarian visa. Farisha, also if you can get in touch with us. Humanitarian visas vary depending on situation a lot, so get in touch with us. We will. So
Farisha, you need to be outside of your country, and also you have to be fleeing from a certain thing. Depending on you have to be either a part of a specific group, or you having political or racial or religious asylum that you're looking for. I prefer not to talk too much in detail about humanitarian
Yeah,
visa,
that's why
because we
I
don't
said
want you
and
to
also,
disclose. It could be against you as well. So if you like to know more, please send us an email. We'll organize an appointment with you in person, so we can tell you. It's basically, you must have, for you to be eligible, you must have one of those reasons. So you could be a woman at risk as well. If in certain countries we go through, if your family doesn't have any a man to support you, then you could be there. So that's like brief information for you. If you need to go further into it, we'll oh, thank you, you're welcome. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I've got Heshan here in YouTube asking 482 visa about caveat exemption for employers whose business activities are in regional.
Yep.
When the employer sponsors to hire an accountant, the caveat will not be enforced
or not. So caveat's not available. Caveat's not applicable for accountants in 494 visas in regional. So regional, you got to make sure you apply for 494, not 482. So if you go through 494, caveats are, you need to have 5 employees or more, and you need to have you must be doing accounting jobs, not bookkeeping jobs. So you need to have someone who's taking care of that part of the duties. And also
1 million turnover.
1 million turnover. So if if you're in regional, make sure you're not doing bookkeeping duties as well. Even though you go through 494, that part's still applicable.
Yeah. I've got Kasun Rajapaksa asking, since construction industry looks promising, what do you think about quantity surveys? Is that a demanding job too for 190 offshore?
I've been fighting about this occupation a lot. I don't know what will be the demand coming up. There's still QS demand in Australia, but not as much as in Middle Eastern countries. QS is one of those fading jobs because of the new softwares coming up in construction industries, but still there is standing demand for it. I can't discriminate the occupation, but let me check with
until that, I'll go and answer a question in Facebook. I'm sorry I can't read your name because it's in Hindi, I believe. Does it have to be post qualification for 482? Had just certificate 4 only, no diploma, 10 months before my certificate 4 and 14 months work experience after certificate 4. Can I apply for 482 now? It's 2 years experience as a chef, full-time salary base is everything. Okay, I believe few questions there. First one, does it have to be post qualification for subclass 482? No, it doesn't say skilled experience, it says experience, so that should be fine. But 2 years has to be full-time equivalent. So if you are working part-time 20 hours a week for 1 year, that is pretty much equivalent to 6 months of full-time. So we have to take it as a pro rata basis. If you want to know more, get in touch with us. I'll give you a free consultation and we can look at your CV and really figure out when you will be ready for your 482.
Maybe you can go through 407 for the time being if it's...
if the visa is expiring or something.
Quantity surveys in good demand because you're coming through MLTSSL, medium to long-term list, and there has been visas granted at 65 points for 190, which indicates a good demand. So Kasun, I think you got a lot of quite a bit of options there. Your 190 offshore. With 190 offshore, the only program that's steady at the moment is this SA offshore program, which you required to have IELTS 7.5 or higher, and you need to have at least 8 years of work experience post qualification.
Yep.
So there'll be other opportunities coming. You have employee-nominated scheme available as well.
Get your skills assessment done.
I think the best thing is for you to start with your skills assessment. If you like, be in touch. We have, depending on where you live, we have an office in Colombo and 𝗪𝗪𝗪. We are about to open in Rajagiri and 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 too. And 𝗪𝗪𝗪.
Or you can get in touch with
us directly if you
office.
like. So we mostly do all this, process your applications from here anyway. They're mostly document receiving centers.
So I've got Facebook, Shalini. I think this will be the last question from Facebook that we answer. Shalini is asking, when can all international students return? Hopefully next year. But if you're if you're planning to apply as an international student for a student visa, please do it now so you can be in the first flight coming. I've got Sandeep asking, hi sir, how are the invitation changes for sales and marketing managers? What is IMC framework? Could you help me draft it? Sandeep, your question is not very clear to me. Invitation changes for sales and marketing managers. Can you please retype the question or get in touch with us? So one of our assistants can go through your question in detail and figure out what kind of help you need. And depending on that, we will give you a consultation.
Depending on your experience and the level of skill as well, there's other opportunities that are available for you. So the sales and marketing, if you're a really prominent person in the field, there are programs. You know how skill migration only open till 45. You can go ENS up till 55 in certain Dharma programs like Central Queensland. So there's a lot of opportunities, but it depends what's your level of experience, etc.
Yeah. Kasun's asking, for skilled visas, what are your professional fees?
It depends what you like to pay us. Kasun, sorry.
No, normally
I was only
starts
kidding.
from about $3,000 and it goes up from there depending what kind of help you need. So we just don't quote a fee looking at your face. We look at what kind of work is involved. Do you need help with everything? Do you need help with skills assessment? Or is it just the EOI or the visa? And we categorize our fees depending on how much time and effort we need to put towards your visa. That's how we come up with the fees. I've got bitterly honest saying, go for Canada. Australia will remain closed till 2026. They keep increasing processing times by 2 months every 1 month. Thank you so much for your
bitterly honest
your opinion.
Sorry, we cannot give migration advice in Canada. So we can support you enroll in Canadian universities and schools, but it's not our expertise in giving you migration advice. We have affiliated lawyers who are supporting these clients. If you're looking into Canadian options, we can support that way, but it's not my personal expertise, so I cannot comment on this.
Yeah.
But Australia 2026 might be a bit long time.
Let's not comment on it. I've got James saying, how engineering professionals not elsewhere classified are selected for 190 and 491, as
Very
there are
question.
many different engineers are listed under this.
We did one lately, engineers not elsewhere close.
Yeah, so what it is, when we get the skill assessment under engineering professionals not elsewhere classified, and then we pick a subcategory when we apply to when we go for the 190 or 491, we select the occupation as engineering professionals not elsewhere classified, and then depending on what you have done, then we select the subcategory. I've got Lion Man, so I think this will be our last question. Hello, can you please give me an indication on 190 New South Wales under hotel and motel managers, and what would be the score like?
My last experience was for 491 regional New South Wales were about 90, 95, somewhere there. Hard to tell, Mr. Lineman, but if you have a specific
Higher
case,
the better.
Yeah, higher the better. So be in touch. More than 190, you will be looking at 491 in this category, in my experience as well, depending on the region that you are applying for, and also your experience. And are you currently living in New South Wales as well? So be in touch if you like, and then we'll help you draft the UI, and then also we'll advise you accordingly to your specific inquiry.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I think
Abhilash's got a food technology
that's
one.
it for
Let's do the Abhilash's one.
food technology, and I have 3. Okay, Abhilash Reddy is saying, I completed food technology. I have 3 years of experience. I can apply 190 visa. I have 65 points.
190 with 65 for food technologies can be quite pushing, but there's been the last invitation we've seen is
I
quite a
wonder
while
if
ago.
your experience, and are you here in Australia? Are you currently working here, or are you offshore? Food technologies is a good occupation. It's in medium to long term list, and if you can find an employer, there are employment opportunities and PR pathways available as well. If not, 65 points if you're offshore could be pushing a little bit, but keep an eye. Other states may open and say 65 points is enough, but they may come up with things like you need to have a job offer or you need to have more work experience. But keep an eye on.
Abhilash,
I
if
think
you're
it's worth it.
in Australia currently, please contact. Please keep on applying for jobs as well, and also contact a good employment recruiter, because there are quite a bit of jobs available for food technologies. 190 when there has been 190 is granted at 65 points, but if you get more employment, you might be able to push the numbers, which also indicates a good demand on as a food technologist as well. So be in touch. If there's anything else we can share with you. And thank you very much for the great comments and being in touch with us and asking these questions and giving us compliments. Thank you really. Thank you very, very much for everyone.
And a lot of our viewers are saying great session. Thank you. And we really appreciate that these comments keeps us going, and these comments give us new ideas to bring you better information. So the more comments we get, more reviews we get, more emails we get from you, hopefully we can do a better job.
Yes, please. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please ensure that you subscribe and also hit the like button in Facebook. That way you will be notified each time we put a new video out there, so you'll be notified about it. And also, if you with the live sessions on Thursdays, if you have any topic that you would like us to highlight and talk about, please comment or send us an email, so we'll talk about that section. We'll prepare for that section and give you a little bit more information during the live session. And otherwise, we'll be getting all these from the frequently asked questions from clients during the week, and also that'll be helpful for yourself as well as other viewers who are watching. People ask how you can help us. The way you can help us is please share our channel with everyone else and let your friends know who are interested in Australian migration, so they'll be notified, and we'll be able to share our knowledge with them as well. And if you're in Facebook, please share our videos, so you'll be supporting us that way. And I think that's
it.
A day for a good
Until
session.
Next week.
Thank you very
Please
much. Have a
stay
good
safe.
day. Yeah, and God bless you all.